Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books. Remember Brie Larson and Captain Marvel? Her movie was supposedly so groundbreaking and so incredibly successful, according to the reported box office numbers, even though Disney did admit to buying a lot of tickets and donating money to nonprofits that bought tickets so that the film was being shown for free for girls. Who knows exactly what the numbers really were supposed to have been? Here on Box Office Mojo, it says $1.1 billion worldwide for Captain Marvel. Boy, that would have been a big hit. Aquaman, also very successful from DC, at $1.148 billion. These are very close numbers. You know, a little bit less on Captain Marvel and Aquaman, but still very close numbers, very successful numbers. Well, people don't care about the sequel to Captain Marvel's next movie. They don't care about the Marvels, what that movie is even supposed to be. If it was really so successful, why not just do Captain Marvel 2? Well, they came up with this sneaky idea of combining a few of their female characters, and it gives them plausible deniability if the project doesn't work well. The Marvels, do you even know what it's about? Because they released this synopsis recently. It's absolutely convoluted. It's ridiculous. It doesn't sound good. And I can't imagine any normal person reading this and then saying to themselves, you know something, I really would like to check out this movie. Here's the synopsis. Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, has reclaimed her identity from the tyrannical Kree and taken revenge on the Supreme Intelligence. But unintended consequences see Carol shouldering the burden of a destabilized universe. When her duties send her to an anomalous wormhole linked to a Kree revolutionary, her powers become entangled with that of Jersey City superfan Kamala Khan, aka Ms. Marvel, and Carol's estranged niece, Captain Monica Rambeau. Together, this unlikely trio must team up and learn to work in concert to save the universe as the Marvels. Does this sound compelling? Have you ever heard the logline for Star Wars? Listen to the logline for Star Wars A New Hope, the original Star Wars movie. When an optimistic farm boy discovers that he has powers, he teams up with other rebel fighters to liberate the galaxy from the sinister forces of the Empire. That sounds interesting. Doesn't sound convoluted. So the Marvel sounds convoluted. It's almost as if they're really just relying on people who will see literally any Marvel movie, and that's what they're counting on to see the Marvels with Brie Larson. Fandango, which is a ticketing company, has very good information on what movies people are looking for. Marvel has some success here on this list. 3 Marvel sequels are the most anticipated movies of 2023, according to Fandango. But nowhere on this list appears the Marvels. So if people are so interested in Captain Marvel, why is it not appearing anywhere on this list? Number 1 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Good for James Gunn. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Okay, absolutely. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. I don't know why people are so excited for that, but okay, it's part of the Marvel Universe and nobody hates it. That's probably what it is. John Wick Chapter 4, of course, people want to see that. Indiana Jones, people waiting a long time for. Who knows what that movie is going to be? Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Now that makes sense, right? So you've got the Aquaman sequel. Aquaman did $1.1 billion. People are looking forward to see that movie. They want to see it. They're going to go see it. Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise. The Hunger Games, Creed 3, Super Mario Brothers. Big franchise. People understand that. So you can understand why people are going to see that. But you also know, for the people out there that realize, like, no, something was wrong. Disney manipulated the numbers for Captain Marvel somehow. Whatever it was that they did, there was never billion-dollar interest in this character from Brie Larson, and there's never going to be. And now Disney's going to be exposed. There's no way they're going to be able to hide this. The movie comes out in July 2023. That will be the lowest grossing Marvel movie since probably the Eternals. Let me know in the comments below if you agree or if you disagree. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe Brie Larson really is somebody that people care about. They care about the character. You really can't even comprehend the summary. If you go and you go to the summary of what they describe that the movie is supposed to be, it doesn't make sense. Too many things, the tyrannical Kree, it's like, who are the Kree again? Like, would you even remember that? This is not going to be a very successful movie. I guarantee you Aquaman 2 does better business than the Marvels, which is really supposed to be Captain Marvel 2. And I don't know if you've heard about this or not, but Disney stock on its way to worst year since 1974 after Avatar sequel disappoints. So not only is the Avatar movie doing badly for Disney, and look, it will probably break even, not theatrically, not in movie theater. It will probably break even after you take into account streaming and digital media and selling physical media and international rights and all those other things, because James Cameron, who made this movie, insisted on it being a massive, massive, massive budget. He had to have like a 9-hour cut from the original filming of it. And then he needed to have all the visual effects done, just like he's doing on Avatar 3 right now, and have Disney pay for all those effects. And then by the time it's done, the thing costs $450 million to produce. I know he's an amazing creative. He's an amazing producer. He's an amazing director. But for the love of God, like, Disney needs to make some things that are going to make money, because it doesn't help them if the movie breaks even, but their stock price actually goes down, because people realize, like, this company doesn't know what it's doing anymore. Disney's stock has plunged 45% this year, putting it on track for its worst performance in nearly 5 decades. Iger is back in control, so he's only been there a couple weeks. It's not like he can turn the company around in a couple weeks, but he's also not making himself very available. I really get a bad feeling about Iger being there at Disney. I think he doesn't know what to do, and I think what used to work for him a couple of years ago is not working now. And a lot of people have pointed this out to me in my videos in the comments, and I appreciate you guys doing that. It really was disastrous with them buying Fox. It probably needed to be done. I can't blame him for doing the deal because of all the streaming debate. They didn't have Disney Plus at the time. They didn't know what was going to happen with streaming. They were losing control of the distribution of their content. You know, I get it, but now that that hasn't worked out, what he needs to be doing is sitting down with Kevin Mayer and Tom Staggs, 2 former Disney executives that are now working together in their own media venture. If they're lucky at Disney, they'll be able to get these guys back to replace Iger. They're really lucky. They'll do it sooner rather than later, because these are guys that really understand. Staggs was a former CFO. He really understands the numbers and he understands the company. And Kevin Mayer is a hardworking guy, brilliant marketing guy. He launched Disney Plus. He did an amazing job of it. But when he wasn't given the CEO opportunity because Iger gave it to Chapek, he left the company for TikTok. There's talk about Disney spinning off ESPN and ABC. If they spin off ESPN, they're going to be in much worse trouble than they're in right now. Much, much worse trouble. Because while ESPN makes some money, it doesn't make as much money as it used to. They wouldn't know how to sell any of their cable channels. They wouldn't know how to sell Disney Plus outside of the bundle. Everything that they sell to the cable distributors, ESPN is a major, major draw. That without ESPN, Disney has a massive, massive problem, even just their basic functioning and the way they normally do business. They've really never successfully sold anywhere near the volume of content that they sell through their cable channels without the incredible help of ESPN, in addition to the ESPN Plus helping them sell Disney Plus with the Hulu bundle. They can't sell Hulu. They can't sell ESPN because even though the money could help, they have no idea how to manage and get the rest of their content distributed. If they do the deal, it means they're absolutely desperate. They would do much better to just write a check for $5 billion or whatever it would take to Tom Staggs and Kevin Mayer and say, hey guys, please come join the company and fix this thing because we have no idea what to do. Like another article, Disney shares fall following softer than expected Avatar opening weekend. And, you know, it's not like let's go beat up on Avatar. Again, Avatar sequel box office returns drag Disney stock even lower. It's hard to make $1 billion movie, whatever this Avatar project is. It's very hard to do what James Cameron did. It's groundbreaking, it's amazing, but it's not a financial success. It may break even, it may make a little bit of extra money. It's not really going to do anything for Disney. It's just kind of like another problem to deal with. And here's Jim Cramer, in CNBC saying, oh, Iger should probably sell ESPN because it's too expensive and that'd be great. It's like, yeah. If they knew how to sell content, if they knew how to distribute content without the advantage of being able to say to the cable companies, you don't get ESPN unless you also buy these other channels at these inflated rates. If they weren't able to bundle that way, they have no ability to do business that way. And it's not just Bob Iger, it's the executives in their distribution for all of their content. They have no skills to do any of that stuff. It's not that the people are not competent. It's just they've had ESPN for so long. It's part of how they do their distribution. They can't separate themselves from it. ABC is something they could probably sell because it's off in its own world. There are two big problems with them selling or spinning off ABC. And a friend of mine asked me what a spin-off means. A spin-off would just mean either a sale of, let's say, ABC or a division of their company for cash or for stock, or a spin-off could also be where they offer a percentage of the stock to the public and then they retain some ownership in it. But all the problem with that is twofold. One, Bob Iger came from ABC. Very unlikely that Bob Iger would be comfortable doing a deal while he's still there to get rid of ABC. It would be very odd for him to do that. ABC was acquired by Disney decades ago, but even so, Bob Iger is not doing that. But in addition, the market for everything is terrible right now. There's nobody banging down their door saying, oh my God, I have to own ABC. I need to have this old, big television network. I've got to have control of that. Like, no, there are people that want ESPN, but as I just said, they can't do without the distribution leverage that ESPN gives them. ABC, there's no demand for it. Bob Iger came from ABC. It'd be very weird for him to sell it. They also lose a distribution outlet for their content, because that is a big distribution outlet for them too. They need the distribution outlet. They can't just sell that. It would be interesting to see them sell Hulu to Comcast, who could really value Comcast, but they can't afford to break the bundle either. Hulu has something called live TV, which is local TV. It's a whole other segment. It allows people to have kind of just Hulu and their local channels. It's a good business. It's not something they could really afford to give up either, especially because of the bundling. They have so many problems at Disney. This is why the stock is doing so terribly, because it's bad. People also really understand it's not good and the economy is not good. They're not going anywhere but down, it looks like. And their stock currently at $87.12 after hours. This is a really severe drop-off. And what might turn this around? Good news could turn this around. But I've been telling people there were things that happened when Bob Chapek was CEO of Disney. The main thing that happened that was a ticking time bomb that hasn't gone off yet for Disney is Bob Chapek produced a ton of content for Disney Plus, like a massive, massive amount. $8 billion more than they planned in 2022, like a massive, massive amount at very high production rates. Because of the way that they distribute it and sold it to themselves, it created a sale for the content that was legitimate, but it's not sustainable. So what's going to wind up happening is they're going to have to go back and redo some of their numbers because they're going to have to change how they're doing business. Bob Iger already said he doesn't like this distribution thing that Bob Chapek set up where they're selling content to themselves as if they're two separate businesses. It's a transfer price issue. It gets into some really complicated accounting stuff. But the bottom line is going back and fixing that is going to be a $5 or $10 billion series of extra expenses that are going to hit Disney, that are going to be like a one-time charge this, one-time charge that. That's what you're going to see probably over the next year to 2 years as they fix all this stuff that was decided under Bob Chapek. Chapek made a mistake. The plan didn't work. But that hasn't even hit the stock yet. When that hits the stock, it's going to hurt the stock, because they're going to have to admit they lost a lot more money than they admitted that they lost, especially because of streaming. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Do you want to hear me talk more about things like transfer prices and explain some of the accounting and the amortization and that complication, or is it like a little bit too much? Let me know what you think, though, and let me know what you think of Captain Marvel. Are you interested in seeing Captain Marvel in the Marvels? Because you'd be about the only person. She's not even on the list of 10. Why would people be more excited about Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, than they are the Marvels? Because no one cares about the Marvels? Because somehow these numbers aren't correct. They didn't really break 1.1 billion. Let me know what you think. Be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.